First of all, in all my videos, I've started by saying thank you, God. I know there'll be a day that I will not be able to be thankful, at least be able to say that. And until the day comes, I have to be thankful for what I can be thankful for. I've been making videos for a long time, and since a while, I knew that the day will come. But in fact, that's why I started making videos in the first place, understanding that there will be a day where it won't happen. And before that day comes, make sure that I left a few testimonials. At this point, my testimonials are pretty well mentioned. It's been years of making the same thing over and over, but this has turned into something more than just testimonials. It's also a way for me to regain reality. As you can hear, this noise campaign that's around me, this is what's happening as a target individual. The job is to try to break me down into internalizing this nasty manipulation. I'm a targeted individual who deal with this V2K synthetic telepathy that consists of not only just the rewiring of my brain and alteration of my mind systematically, but also an ecosystem around me that's supposed to gaslight me into internalizing this. That's what you hear, this noise campaign, the sirens that happen certain times. And there's not only just this noise campaign, there's also neighbors, participants, and a lot of them are just insignificant. There's from the sirens that you heard to the nobodies next door who are like some teenage kids, to some, it's a whole ecosystem. With me, the most active are like the cheese child, like low life, but I call them like a wall of retardation. Their job is to literally immerse me in a state of stupidity to the point where they can make me internalize this manipulation. They take the job very seriously. They understand that their job is to really push me into thinking in such an illogical, nonsensical way that now starts sounding like sensicalness. And they are very, very, very focused on that, on pushing the stupidity in however ways. My brain is being rewired via this technology. I'm a targeted individual who deal with this technology, this super advanced technology that just beyond just harm me physically and my organs, but takes over my brain and disturbs me. It's a cognitive alteration via this technology that is being weaponized. And then they have these civilians, these nobodies around you who support this technology but try to gaslight me. It's like a mixture of extremely advanced technological ability to rewire your brain, manipulate your brain, make you experience whatever they want you to experience, and then a textbook type of brainwashing where these perps do this noise campaign, do this behavior, theatrics, everything possible to gaslight you into internalize what this technology is rewiring to experience. And they also try to disorient you enough to kind of be disconnected with the reality that this is clearly a governmental program destroying you. This is clearly this program that a lot of other target individuals brings up. And they really want you to think in this stupidly, extremely, it's not even stupidity, it's mentally challenged way. But this trash around you make this retarded rationality. Try to make it as sensical as possible. They take themselves so serious in their way to try to gaslight you into retardation. And on top of that, you add the immaturity of some of these perps, it goes extreme. For some of this trash becomes a lifestyle of trying to disturb you to the point of accepting this manipulation as if you're not being manipulated. They have this theatricness. For me, it's going to another level. The theatrics are not just like this fake emotional gaslighting, for example, they manipulate me to get the grading experience, and then you can hear somebody screaming, just like act like they just caught me, observed something that was like not being manipulated, and slam the door and act like certain way, and they're like, super theatrical in that way. Try to get you to feel nervous, to slam all the doors they can, have dog barks, slam the. I have like a trash shoot not to stop making banging noise campaign. Every time they force you to experience this, and like, no, we just police this, we just see this, and just let you know we saw this. It's like, no, you just let me know that you want me to internalize this. Actually, they don't want to let me know. They want to look like they're like, oh my gosh, I just saw something that is not being manipulated, in that, but taken very seriously in that stupidity. And they really try to break you down and break and destroy your identity of who you are and rewire you. But at the same time, they want to paint themselves. Because the truth is, you find out as a target individual the horribleness that's happening to others who are way more vulnerable than you. There's children who's dying, who are being tortured in this program and being utilized as guinea pigs, just like us, target individual. There's even children. Now, you know that some of you target individual are parents and seeing what's happening to your children. Now, for me, these perps who are involved in this program, for me, it's funny how they try to make me let them just try to gaslight me, to make me internalize this. They want to it's like they want to distance themselves from the actual program that's doing that to me. So they're like, no, we're just different. Our money doesn't do that. And I'm telling you, they have no shame of how clown-like they are. They expect me to think, now, this is the other people doing that. It's like a different portal of it. And when I know what I'm saying sounds really stupid, but it's part of the psychological game. That's supposed to just try to distance themselves from the clear validation that these people are not here protecting children. If anything, what they're showing, what they're part of, harms the most vulnerable of the vulnerable in terrible ways. They're torturing children in so many ways, and it's being validated. And whatever theatrics they try to create with their rage and this and that, and truth is, they're just trying to cover up that what they've joined, what they're part of, is doing evil things to even children. And they wanted to take that away from me, because it will help me see them. It's like, this trash are here doing this evilness to children. And I refuse. I refuse to give them that. I refuse to let them escape that and think that they behave a certain way. And also they have this own little thing, trash us. Clearly, this is a governmental program. And what these perps are part of, even though they're insignificant, is part of this machine that's destroying the life of men, women, and children for the purpose of development this technology. They use these clowns that become monkeys in their own ways. They use us as monkeys like test subject, but they are become monkeys to be clowns, to push you into insanity, to push you into stupidity to the point where you clearly can't see that this is this massive government torturing women and children. They want you to think that this is anything but this massive government that is out here frying, torturing, killing women, and torturing children. Now, these perps don't want to be seen around me trying to play this game. For the soul of all who suffer in this program, I refuse to let these clowns recreate reality. You're going to enjoy what you're part of, but you're going to enjoy it for what it is, not for the fantasized way. And in regard of trying to make me internalize this, sorry, it will never happen. If you want to come and gaslight me in person, come on. I guess I'll stay super wise. I promise you. Not only I will never internalize, I know who I am, I will never think that this thing is not the thing they do to target individual. But to, on top of that, let you think that you're in something different that's not torturing women and children? Because you want to play this justice seeker for all these children suffering and dying and being seizured? Make that mistake. For the babies suffering. You know, I put that in front of them because, first of all, there's lawsuits. There's this targeted justice versus Garland in Texas, where two mothers, maybe multiple mothers, but there was a set of mothers that included their children, saying the government is involved in harming us and our children, our girls. Not only they're torturing us as grown-ass women, but they're torturing our babies. And we're worried about their futures. Now, that's just as documented as it gets. But there's also testimonials of Catherine Nestor and her young child, which has been tried to recreate in different ways. I say Catherine Nestor, tried to change in my brain to negate that there's a woman called Catherine Nestor who testified in the bioethics in 2011 also, saying me and my young child are being tortured and we're being damaged psychologically and physically. There's testimony of a woman called Mariana who says, I see these children being tortured, grabbing and clenching the private parts because they feel pain. There's a woman in Boston talking about, I see my children getting zapped or feeling like they're getting zapped. For the soul of all these children and women suffering, I will not let this loser perps who wanted to partake in this thing in this fantasized way and recreate reality as if they're the justice seekers and the avengers. You delusional fuck. This perps deserves to die. Excuse my emotion, target individual. Because as I'm making this video, I'm hearing this V2K, voice to skull, and I can hear a trash having tantrum because he's trying to cover up that the reality that I know, and I will never let them escape from what is happening in this program that this fucking trash have participated in. That's what I deal with every day. I will not, if I don't have much to live for at this point, but this is something I'm willing to die for. I'm not going to let some perp loser tantrum gaslight me. They know that. That's why via V2K they can do all this behavior, but in front of me, things will be very risky. They're putting a lot of effort to try to cover up that. Because what they try to do is to paint themselves as the justice seeker. Not only the reason why they're doing that is because they want me to internalize this manipulation that they know what to be doing to target individual. They force target individual to have this disgusting. They love to utilize libido manipulation, playing with the target individual's sexual arousals in these degrading ways, which is how they're weaponizing this cognitive technology that can alter your brain. There was some clown next door neighbors. I could hear some child yelling or crying or something like that. Every time that child was crying or yelling, they was giving me stimulation. And they're supposed to make me internalize this trash involved in the program where they know babies are being tortured. So not they're so aware that there's children being tortured in this program that they spend time trying to negate that and try to distance themselves from the same program that clearly is the same. The program that they know they're involved in is doing this evil thing, and I put that in their faces. I provoke them that way. It's like, you think I'm going to subscribe to this manipulation? You're involved in something where you know babies are suffering when you even have children? I'm not here to fund, like, with this purpose, I'm not trying to get to their good heart. I don't care. I know what this program is. Women with children have noticed that some of the time what's happening to them, they have other women, other mothers involved in what's happening to them, making them feel like what is happening to these women and their children is deserving. This is a well-designed program by governmental entities that's supposed to break target individual down and utilize us as guinea pigs to understand the different technical aspect and technological ways of improving this technology that cognitively manipulates you and weaponized on us target individual, but also what trickeries function. It's a lot of dark psychology applied onto us on top of this extremely advanced technology. We're not just here to be killed. Matter of fact, with me, they're prolonging my life while damaging me at the same time. It's like a slow process, really maximizing you as a guinea pig. Really. And the part that's funny to me is they've damaged my body so bad. I know that I'm not in good shape. I think that the reason why I'm still alive at this point is because they're prolonging. They're somewhat treating a little bit what they've done to me already. But when you're in that state of understanding that they're already been damaging you to the point where perhaps you're about to die, but just elongating your life a little bit longer. The sense of fear of death minimizes, lowers, because you understand that you are really in a state of death. It's like when somebody's ill in a critical state, for a long time, they start to not be scared of death. But this trash, to try to gaslight me, they use fear tactics. But when death is not something you're scared of anymore, it doesn't scare as much. Yes, I can be scared. Yes, I'll be scared. In the sense that if somebody pulls out a knife, I'm not going to be like, oh, okay, just shoot. No, I'll be like, oh, but I'll go for it. With fear, but not fear of death, but fear of like the pain maybe. Because they push target vigil in me specifically into a way where death is no longer, it's like almost freedom. Even though I don't want to kill myself, I don't want to harm myself, I understand this for me, maybe a lot of target vigil, but I don't want to demoralize any target vigil. I know that some of us will survive this, but the truth is there's many who won't. I'm not trying to demoralize you to continue to fight, especially if you have children, if you have family, if you have people depending on you. Fight till the last breath, because this is no longer about just you. I'm not trying to demoralize any target individual with children or anybody responsible of others or anybody, even if it's by yourself. Fight to the end. But I'm not scared of death. So this, to me, is what I know these clowns are nothing. I could have, when I say thank you, God, I'm saying thank you, God, I'm not this trash over there. No matter how long of a life they live, look at what kind of life they have to live, or they chose to live. You think I'd rather live life comfortably doing what they do? Being a child like trash, having tantrum, trying to gaslight somebody? These nothings? We're all gonna die either way. I've seen what life could have been. It's funny with me, they want to act extremely insane. I was like, you're an insane person who wants to leave. Come play your game. You're an insane person who have much more to lose than me. So come. I'll be a sane person who understands death is nothing. I'm not trying to be poetic, but I understand reality. And I take pride of staying in tune with reality. And so when I go, for me, I went through some trash, and somebody was looking at me, he's like, we're gonna beat you down. I was like, listen, if I was not somebody who was dying, because that's what they're doing to my body. If it was somebody who had potential life or could live a long life, as I say that, they try to twist it in some their retarded way. If I could have a life along I'll be terrified. I'll get out of there. But you think even if I'm scared, I'll run to you. It's like they do things for themselves at this point. It's theatric. Even what they tell me they're going to be castrating me, they do this and that. I'm like, first of all, you cannot scare me with castration when you are destroying my pancreas or whatever organ in my internal organs. What's more important, testicles or the ability to digest food? What's more important, kidneys, liver, hearts, or testicles. I don't care about my testicles. So you're not going to scare me with that. And on top of that, it's theatric because this trash want to be like, oh, we're so avenging, trash, you involved in a program that torture babies. Slowly. And they're just the bottom feeders. With me, they've been trying to be like, yeah, we're different, it's our money, it's trash, it's the governmental entity running this program. He's just some loser, the government trash. The government utilized to trash people. There's women and their children dying and suffering this program. You're just the trash doing that. Just the bottom feeders in this. It's not even the important people in this. They're nothings. They have different colors they wear and things like that. It's supposed to be like, it's all mental kind of messing with you. There's children participating in that. There's some negative. Clearly, you ever think that will think that this is anything but a massive government? I understand people participate in that, and I understand the level of the ecosystem that surrounds you. Things were over for me the second I was put in this program. Not today, because these next door neighbors are doing whatever. So for me, when I started listening to these testimonials of these children suffering, listen, I've listened to that a lot in the past, but listening to like the lawsuits, and having this plaintiff that consists of two children of Deborah and Deborah, and how they describe that they're girls. And I want to be specific to say they're girls. Are also being harmed in their fear of not only current experiences harming them, but for the future health of these children. Listen, I already knew that they harm children. There's a book there where this man talk about seizures, and it's not the first. I hear a lot of target major deal with seizures and their children dealing with seizures. In this program, they've normalized these things. So the participant, even when the target major have children, even when the children being tortured, can be everyday citizen. It's not some monster behind it, like partaking. No, everyday citizen. They go pick up their kids, be mothers, fathers, and then people involved in the same thing that they would torture children. It's just they think that this thing is normal now. They're in a world where the torture of children is normal. But these fuckers are disgusting because this is what they want you to think. Today, they force me to get these sexual arousals that degrades me, that disturbs me. But this is not unique to what they do just to me. They do that to mothers. They can force mothers or parents to have sexual arousal toward their own children. And then try to gaslight them into internalize them. Internalize these manipulations as if they're not being manipulated. Now with me, they do the same thing. And then they try to make me rationalize it in this way. Like I said, it's like, oh, we're matching to you as a child. Remember, we made you trash us. These fuckers are involved in the program. And they want you to be a fucking retard. To be like, you know what? Forget about this thing that is torturing children. Forget about the other testimonials that these women are saying that they're forced to experience. Forget about these common tactics they've been using on others. And forget the fact that they literally torture children. In this case, we're not doing that to you. Us, who are in a program that torture women and children. And that's why they want to distance them away from the fact that they're the same involved in the program that torture children and women. It's not like, oh, this is this portal, this target vigil. Please understand, this is a governmental program. The facade presented to you is to confuse you and disorient you. In order to gaslight you. To disorient you. And I believe sometimes they want the target vigil to look so stupid, not so stupid, but so crazy. That, oh, it's aliens doing that, oh, it's a call doing that. It's a presentation that they design. And you'll hear that target major, they try to make it look like this is anything but a massive government. but most target individuals understand that this is a governmental program. That's what the lawsuit was against these governmental entities. Whatever it is, this is a governmental entity, but clearly, the DOD is the one entity that you can include all the other entities, but the one that we all know this technology is coming from, we all know is operating or behind some of this technology development, is the Department of Defense. Now, does it mean other entities involved? I'm sure. But the one entity that we can all be 100% sure has a hand and heavy in this is the Department of the Defense. You hear the kids screaming? They're trying to create some manipulation. The Department of Defense has a heavy hand in this program. These clowns that you hear is yelling, screaming, these are the nothings. I wish you could hear this V2K and hear this clown just become a clown, a monkey, to stop me from saying what I'm saying. And by the way, once I have a hand, they will try to gaslight me, and I'll go to that. It's the DOD. So whatever stupidity you front, for me, they're like, oh, we're just this protectors of children, and what matters, and this and that, and they do that to other target major. They love to present themselves as like some kind of like community protectors or some organization of goodness. They do that to mothers with children and paint the same facade. To try to break you down. No? You know you're involved in something that torture babies. You know my brain is being played with and manipulated in these degrading ways. You enjoy these perps, love these things. Oh, one thing I know for sure is they love what they're involved in. Especially when, let's just say, I don't know if they will love it when they do that to children, but they love the fact they can control human beings. They love that. They enjoy the fact that they can play with the brain. I can tell. Which, I understand the intoxicating feeling that you are like doing something to a human being in a way that is advanced technologically. You can play with somebody's brain. They love that. They love what they're part of. They love that they're involved in something that's capable of doing that. That's why they try to cover up what they're part of. That's why they try to distance themselves from something that torture babies. Some of them have done these things to women and children. They involve themselves because nobody forced them. They love to be involved in this. Being involved in governmental entities that develop technology of that nature and utilizing human beings is clear. That is fulfilling for a lot of them, and I understand why in a dark way. They feel like gods. I have some next door neighbor who just opened the doors like, I have a Britney, for Kanye, trash. She's a loser. She has nothing going in life but that. I understand. As I'm saying that, I'm trying to cross, but you hear the kids scream, all theatrical. And guess what? Because they thought I was going to let them leave their fantasy of justice seekers. They recreate reality justice seekers for all the women and children dying in this program. Go seek those justice. Because I mean, they'll kill yourself. I'm not going to allow people who love to be involved in something. They manipulate the brain of people and manipulate the body of people. They love the fact that they can be involved in something that can do that to people. Watch people slowly break down. Feel like there's some kind of mistake. These perps, when I hear them talk, I'm like, you are nothing. I can tell that you enjoy that because in your own life you have issues. This fulfills you in that way. But I'm not going to let you paint this thing as if the only reason why you're involved in this is not for Britney. You will destroy her and her family and enjoy it. Because there's women participating in the torture of women and children, and nobody forced them to participate in that. They get involved in this because they enjoy what they get out of it. Because there's benefits. And they start vilifying the most vulnerable person. You know, for me, they were like, oh, but with you, we don't feel bad. Oh, so you feel bad when you torture women and children? Wow. What an honor. What an honorable person. Trust, do you feel bad being involved in something where children are being tortured? I don't care, trash. I'll face you for the low life involved in a program where not only you torturing me, but babies and women. And you're just a nothing that wanted to recreate reality and negate. And what they do is they try to cover up and negate the fact that I know what they do to infants. This program torture infant and it's torturing me. And it doesn't turn into their torture because they want to distance themselves from the program that is torturing me and torturing children. And they use a lot of childlike perps. I think I'm going to let them live in their little fantasy. Whatever I'm going to do, if I crash out, please understand, I never thought you were a big deal here. You're a clown that opens the door and slams the doors. But you wanted to gaslight somebody into internalizing this fantasized reality. For all the women being raped and tortured and burned and tormented, you love to be involved in this. And for those soul, I will never let them live their fantasy. I will never allow this opportunist that will do that in a heartbeat to women. If a woman was living here who was a target individual, the same trash opening the door and slamming the door would partake in a heartbeat. She would. And many others. And that's happening today. There's a lot of teenage participants mocking the sufferings of children. To psychologically break down the mother who's watching their children suffer. That's what these teenage trash are. And the way they behave, so insincere, can't even act right. Now, some of the shit, listen, the way they abuse children, the way they torture children, the way they do these diabolical things to children, I've been listening over and over and over and over. So when I face them, brace yourself if you play your game. Brace yourself to these perps. I know they're nothings, but they better brace themselves. I will not let this trash live life negating the abuses that they joined or the program that do that to children and turn me into a retard. With me, they would, this trash say, her math, use the math as a disgusting trash. Try to exaggerate it as a child. Talk about math as a trash. Now let's go listen to the reality. Let's listen to the seizures, the cancers, the sexual tortures, the cancers, the headaches, the stomach ache, the body mark, the electrocution of children, babies, 0 to 3 years old. All these abuses that you try to negate and cover up because you're involved in that program. And they're like, yeah, with you it's fate, trash. So with you joining a program that tortures children 0 to 3 is what? Covering low life trash. And you know, they were trying to create mental battle. With you, we enjoy it. Oh, so you don't enjoy it when you torture children? Ah. Now, I know that who's interacting with me right now or trying to gaslight me in this way, they're not anybody important. What they're doing is try to disorient me and break me down. The goal here for them is to have this nonsensical way of thinking so I can be susceptible of this manipulation. And the way they're supposed to enrage and be enraged and all that, the attitude they have, is because when they manipulate me, they're supposed to be like, oh my gosh, we're just with you, we're just not doing that, pay, and we're just observing this. And that was the game they were playing, when in reality what they do is to manipulate the brain in these disgusting ways. And this is the gimmicks created, the persona that's created, the stupidity that's created to gaslight me, to internalize this. And they wanted you to just be susceptible of this. And just pretend like, oh, just forget about this children being tortured. Oh, just your views fades. And they send some losers. You've seen some of these pictures, how pathetic they look like. And the stupidity is amazing. It's a non-stop. That's why I have my body cam. To my last breath, I will not give them an ounce of fantasy. Who destroyed me, I know. They put me in this program. The program that is torturing babies, women, children of all ages. The facade, oh, they even would try to show some like radical feminism as trash, some radical covering up. They thought the entitlement was going to override reality. I promise you, you failed. Now you want to take the risk. It's okay. I will oblige. I'm not threatenful. I don't want to look threatful. But I'm not going to do nothing. And let this trash who wanted me to be a mental retard. Today, they even talking about how they're going to stretch me. They're going to do this. Like, you can stretch my butt. You can do all of this. It's over. Everybody knows that I know that they torture children. Babies. The sexual torture is supposed to cover up the sexual torture of children. That's done in this program. There is no covering up what they're part of. For all the little girls suffering this program. For all the women dying and suffering this program. You will not live your fantasy. And you truly are the bottom feeders. Don't get it twisted. I understand that you're just a nothing. I will not face an actual real big deal in regard to this program. I will not face an actual mover and shaker in regard to what's happening to me. It will never happen. They will just have this low life, do their things, being all theatrical. But the real deal, who really is behind this, this governmental program, we're just nothing but just samples to them. They use these losers who start recreating these wells, courts. It's like because they tell me they're framing me. With me, is like they tell me they're gonna frame me, they're gonna do this and that, and it's gonna be their courts, like your courts. These clowns want me to be so retarded to think it's not this governmental court. It's not this governmental program that is running these courts, but this police department. It's this radical feminist court. Dumb fuck. You are the lowlife of these governmental entities. This is the court of these governmental entities. You're just nothing. And now you want to create a theatrical, or in a reality. They tell me how they're going to rape me, they're going to do this and this and that's. Like, let's go. I put the reality of what they're part of in their faces. It's been provoking. It's been making things worse for me. They frame women in playing child porn, in devices of women. They frame them. They take the children of some women who are target individual. We're talking about evilness that is extreme. Not because they're going to do these evil things to me. They try to compensate with like, oh, with you, we're going to stab you, we're going to rape you. Guys, like, let's go. You burn women. These pictures of women's face grilled. Women with holes in their feet, in their legs. Breast cancers, all kind of blinded and all. Send this fake ass trash. This low life who came and say Roy Moore. Some trashy nothings. They have to time things right. Using this teenage trash to try to disorient me. For all the babies who've suffered in this program. I promise, for example, for the woman called Deborah and her girl, who are in their lawsuits against, I think, the FBI or some governmental entities, or claiming these governmental entities are doing that to her. For Deborah and her girl, who claim that they're being harmed by this advanced technology. This trashy low life, no matter what gender they have, no matter how they behave, they will not cover up the reality of what they're part of. Tag me, just stay strong.